Good evening, everyone, here in the Zendo and online. Nice to see you all again, and some faces that I have not seen. My name is Mukei. I am one of the senior students here at the Village Zendo. And we've had just finished our winter Angora study period, and our abbot, Shinryu Roshi, shared in his Dharma talk on Saturday about how intense it was, not just in terms of the zazen kind of the sits, but we had a number of celebrations and ceremonies leading up to this past Sunday, our Shusa Hosen. And being very involved in all of those things, I felt like kept saying to myself, what's next? What's next? And right now, coming tomorrow, folks who are interested in taking the precepts are going to be involved in that process. And then we have people who are interested in becoming students, an all-day sit, quiet. I mean, technically, that's what's next. But then there's the what's next about what happens when we leave here, right? Well, when you go offline, what's next for you? Or what is next in the world, in this administration, in our lives? What's next? It just feels like Okashu and I were talking earlier before our sit about, we get a couple of really nice days, and then all of a sudden here where I am in New York, it's cold. And it feels like it wants to snow. What kind of weather? What's next with the weather? And so I was thinking about the talk tonight, and I was thinking about something that came to mind when I studied chaplaincy many years ago. And it was a book titled Transitions, written by William Briggs. And he says, quote, "It isn't the changes that you do, it's the transitions. Change is situational. The new website, the new team roles, the new boss. Transition is the psychic process people come to in terms with a new situation. Change is external. Transition is internal." And that kind of opened my eyes because over the years, transition and change have been used interchangeably. But they're two separate processes. And according to Briggs, they occur in 3 stages. Endings. It means letting go of something. It's a stage in which we decide to leave something, we hope, behind. But it's not just about the situation, it's about the sense of our loss of identity. There's uncertainty, there's frustration, there's reservation. Emotions are strong, and it comes right down, we're all experiencing grief. The next stage is the neutral zone, a time of confusion and creativity, a time of creativity and skepticism. And the third is beginnings. The new situation is fully accepted. The feelings of high energy and accomplished begin to appear. These are not something that are linear, but you kind of go back and forth. And I've realized that I'm still in the transition stage, despite whatever newness is going on. Who am I? And I could do the Zen thing and say, well, life is always in transition. We go from one thing to the next thing, to one thing to the next thing. That's true. But it's about loss. It's about who we are. It's about grief. When I studied chaplaincy, the person I worked with challenged me to embody one of the Bodhisattvas. I had no idea what she did. I was very new to Zen then. And she said, I want you to embody one of the Bodhisattvas. And so I did some research. I wasn't going to be like Manjushri here on our altar, but I decided to pick Jizo, Jizo, Jizo. He's a clean-shaven monk. He carries, he's very popular in Japan, and he carries a scepter which has 6 rings around and bells. And when he walks, he announces his presence. So it kind of warns predators and insects to stay away so he doesn't step on top of them. And he's not as great or well known as Manjushri here, or Shakyamuni Buddha. But I learned that he is the Bodhisattva of transition. Now, it's easy to talk about as a chaplain. Of course, you go and you see patients or the staff at a hospital or whatever setting you're in, and folks in those particular settings are going through a transition. But I learned that it was my presence as a chaplain that helped, that I witnessed to the transitions that were going on. And so, as I said, I did more research on Jizo, and I found out that he is the guide of the transitional places and also of hell. He's the guardian of the 6 realms. The first being the gods, people who live very carefree lives, who are above it all, who look down on things. The second are the power-hungry asuras, who are the die-hard, I'm going to make it or break it kind of individuals. There are the humans, and this is considered the more auspicious realm because humans have to deal with ignorance and anger and frustration, and so there's hope of enlightenment. And then he goes further, even down to the hungry ghosts. Hungry ghosts, we heard, were people who were starving, who had very big stomachs, small heads, throats the size of a needle, and were insatiably hungry. Some of the texts I've read about the hungry ghosts is that we may be looking at America. America kind of in a way fosters hungry ghosts. Then there's the animal world, where everything is just fight or flight, no matter what. And then the last realm is hell, where people are just stuck in whatever situations they're in. But the interesting thing about I learned was that could be any one of us in this room and on this call. We can all go through those realms in a matter of time. Now, think about it. You might leave here feeling very much pleasant, and then somebody does something or says something to you on the train or on the bus, and then what happens? You're in another place. But Jizo, I learned, goes up and down these realms. And he stays present in those situations. And one of the things that I found very meaningful to me was his posture. If you see his statues, as I mentioned, he's very well respected in Japan. He offers a posture of giving and care. Not like Manjushri, who holds a sword, but a posture of giving and care. And I think that's what's needed in times of transition. How do we give and how do we care? And I don't think it requires that we do it in a tremendous and outlandish kind of way, but whatever the need is in the moment. It could be the smile on the face to somebody you pass on the street. It could be holding the door for someone as they struggle with packages. It could be calling someone and saying, "How are you?" I mean, those are the basics. Those are the basics. But there's more. And I think in this time, especially in our lives, we need some more giving and some more caring. A little difference to take a person out of hell. Isn't that amazing? A cup of water to take a person out of hell. To help someone see that there's other alternatives that are open to them, not just what I see in front of me. So in a way, we all embody Jizo. He's not, well, we also embody Manjushri also, but that's another Dharma talk. But we all embody Jizo. And what's needed right now is caring and giving. And only you and we in our own creative ways know how to do that. So I send you off to do what the next thing is you are called to do. But please remember, give and reassure.